Hi, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm Orlando Ruiz Jr. Welcome to another classic horror movie review. This is my second in my classic horror review series for October 2023, leading up to the big night of Halloween, my personal favorite holiday. And this is my review of the 1959 black and white ghost classic House on Haunted Hill, directed by William Castle, who used to specialize in many creepy movies like The Tingler, which also came out the same year as this. He also directed the original 1960 13 Ghosts, which I'm a fan of. And I also enjoy the remake of that as well as the remake of House on Haunted Hill that came out in the late 90s. Both 13 Ghosts, the remake, and the remake of this movie were produced by Joel Silver, who tried to bring back these old classics in the late 90s and early 2000s. And for me, I'm always more of a fan of the old movies because I just really enjoy their vibe and their feel, the feel of the classics. And this is a movie that stars old school actor Vincent Price, one of my personal favorite actors from back in the day, who was in many great classic movies like the original 1953 House of Wax. He was also in one of my personal favorites, 1958's The Fly. In one of his very final movie roles, he also played the inventor in the 1990 Tim Burton classic Edward Scissorhands, where he created the title character in that film. And fans of the 1983 classic Michael Jackson song Thriller will also remember his voice as the person that recites that very creepy poem towards the end of that song. And here he plays the role of Frederick Lauren, a man who has money to, I guess, spare since he offers $10,000 each to five individuals, strangers, that show up at a very creepy house one night for a party that he's throwing for his wife, supposedly. In the role of Annabelle Lauren, the wife to the Vincent Price character Frederick Lauren, we have actress Carol Omart. Rounding out the rest of the guest list that attend this little party, we have in the role of Nora Manning, actress Carolyn Craig. Her character is an employee of Frederick Lauren, works for one of his businesses, but has never met him before this fateful night. And in the role of Lance Schroeder, the test pilot, who's kind of this take charge kind of guy, we have actor Richard Long. In the role of the skeptical psychiatrist, Dr. David Trent, we have actor Alan Marshall. In the role of Ruth Bridgers, we have actress Julie Mitchum. In the role of the guy that owns the house on Haunted Hill, we have Elijah Cook Jr., who is this very good character actor from back in the day who is in movies like Double Indemnity and The Big Sleep. I have reviews of those movies on my channel if you want to check them out. Those are great movies. All of the actors do a very good job in bringing a distinct personality to each role in the film. And at the very beginning of the film, when we meet everybody and we see them arriving at the house, everybody arrives one at a time in a hearse. Apparently, that's a touch that Frederick Lauren, Vincent Price's character, says that was his wife's idea, Annabelle. And Frederick and Annabelle do not get along whatsoever. There is some real hate between these two. I honestly really enjoy the scenes between Frederick and his wife Annabelle, and I really like the dialogue in those scenes. It's very entertaining and very kind of wickedly funny at the same time. And in those dialogue scenes, we get quite a bit of backstory information where we find out that at one point in their history, she tried to poison him, and you can see that he's still very kind of angry and bitter about that. And the whole idea is he says he's throwing this party and that it's her idea, but she doesn't want to attend this party because all the guest lists are people that she doesn't know or didn't invite at all, and everybody was invited by him. And so it really feels more like his party. And when everybody arrives, nobody really knows what they're in for or what's in store. Everything feels like a big mystery. The owner of the house, Elijah Cook Jr.'s character, Watson Pritchard, is very much aware of what goes on in this house as far as it being inhabited by ghosts. And he knows quite a bit of the history behind that since he had relatives that stayed in this house at one point and befell a tragic fate, and some of them still kind of occupy this house. And all throughout the movie, he's very scared and trying to warn the other people in the party, all the strangers there. And he's kind of like the Ralph character from Friday the 13th, where he's kind of the prophet of doom for everybody. Back in the day, screen legend Vincent Price was no stranger in playing very sinister types and very kind of mysterious characters, and here in House on Haunted Hill, that is no exception. In the role of Frederick Lauren, as the man that's offering everyone $10,000 to spend the night in this haunted house, you really don't know what he has up his sleeve, and he's very creepy in this movie. And offering everybody this chance to win this money, they'll have a shot to get out before midnight. But once midnight comes, the house gets completely locked down with some kind of ultra security where there's like steel doors and bars on the windows. The character of Nora Manning, the young lady, has reservations about staying in the house since she is the biggest scaredy cat out of this group of strangers, and she kind of runs out of time at the last moment to get out. And Of course, she has to stick it out with everybody else once the house is locked down. And everybody's in this little adventure together. The outside of this haunted house looks nothing like what you would expect the inside of the house to look like. On the exterior, it very much looks like it could be a business or some kind of a psychiatric hospital. But then we go inside the house and it almost has like this Victorian style era feel with the art direction and the interior design, which really adds to the atmosphere throughout the movie. And every now and then there are some great jump scares involving some ghosts, and the music builds tension for some of these moments in a beautiful way that has some great payoff every now and then. There is a moment where we see somebody hanging from a ceiling. Anytime I see a movie and I see someone has been hung, whether the movie is new or old, it always comes off pretty disturbing, at least for me. And that's no exception, even in this old movie. And this movie also has a great moment where one of the characters goes into their room and finds a severed head sitting on their bed. And as far as the practical effects go in that scene, as far as that severed head, for a 1950s film, for a black and white film, it is very well done and it looks pretty gruesome. As the night goes on and more strange things happen, and eventually a murder occurs in the house, and everybody's on edge because they're not sure if it's the ghost or maybe there is a human element at work behind everything. There is paranoia that builds throughout the house between all the characters, and that really transcends through the film and out to the audience, which really adds to the fun of the movie. There's also a scene where the Vincent Price character decides to spice things up a bit, and there are these little boxes that look like coffins where every character opens up these little boxes and is given a handgun for protection. And you can tell that this guy has some kind of ulterior motive behind giving everybody a gun. All it does is make the situation all the more dangerous. As the movie goes on, there are some very nice surprises and twists and turns in the third act that really pull the rug out from under you in the best way possible, that really add to the movie's enjoyment. I really dig this black and white classic. I give this movie 3 stars, and I highly recommend that you check this out. This is one of my favorite haunted house movies, and even though it's an old movie, it really does stand the test of time because of how strong the premise is. This is my copy of the DVD of 1959's House on Haunted Hill. As you can see there, Vincent Price there on the side, looking very kind of creepy as usual. And this is just a fun movie. It's a good time. Since it's an old movie, you're not going to really find it scary as far as the effects go and everything. You know, those are the kind of things that do age with a movie. But there are some things that happen in the movie that will kind of make you go, oh, okay, I see what they did there, and might just impress you. So, again, 1959's House on Haunted Hill is a fun time, and it has its creepy moments as well. Thank you all very much for watching this classic movie review. I very much appreciate it. If you're a new viewer, if you're into this kind of thing, and if you're into classics, hit the bell, subscribe. Please don't forget to share, comment, like. It really helps out the channel. If you're a returning viewer, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate you watching. And please look out for the next classic movie review. I will be doing horror movies all month long leading up to my favorite night of the year, Halloween. Everybody take care, peace out, God bless, and happy October.